One joins Griff Rhys-Jones as he ventures back to Mandalay.
Hello and welcome to the final in our series of The Computer Show. Today we're going to have some fun looking at the PC with one thing in mind: games. It's hard to believe this, but not all computer games involve violence and blasting strange-looking nuclear aliens away with machine guns. There are, in fact, hundreds of games which challenge the mind and explore your creative side. So, in just a few moments, we'll be meeting a lady who's having a love affair with one of her games. Actually, it's Beethoven. Then Peter Lunn, our gadgetry genius, he'll be showing us the best in computer leisure packages for adults. Plus, there's a chance to look at Tomorrow's World today, the latest in action-packed games you can buy on the high street right now. All this and more in just a moment. But first, over to London Docklands, where I met a lady with a thing for Beethoven. Tricia, tell us a little about yourself.
My name is Tricia Rose. I work in sales and marketing with a computer at work, but at home the computer is simply for pleasure.
And I understand that you didn't originally have a computer yourself. It was really because your young children, your teenage children, were interested in computers.
Yes, I didn't like playing games, but William had a CD-ROM of Beethoven's Ninth, and I heard the music, so I came up and I sat there for 8 hours. So if you want to see it, that's the CD.
Let's have a look. Now, that's the CD that we were talking about. Let's put it into the machine.
With a music disc like this, you can go backwards and forwards from information which is on your screen to the actual music, so that you have information about the music and the music itself playing in small sections that you can take and understand.
Right, well, let's have a look, shall we? You keep it, now we're used to seeing the program manager, you keep it in your multimedia Beethoven.
Yes. So
there's the icon.
Click onto the Ninth.
This is an examination of his Ninth Symphony.
So you have here the entire contents. If you start with the pocket guide, it's a summary of the 4 movements, and you can click onto any one and hear it.
So what would the art of listening be?
If you want to see the structure of the music, you can go to it, and for instance, I'm very interested in the poetry, and this shows how Beethoven adapted Schiller's original poem.
So there's the chorus, and it shows how he moved certain choruses and stanzas.
And then you can click on if you want to listen to it.
Now that stopped. I couldn't help noticing they were singing in German.
They're singing in German. It's only recorded in German. That is simply a translation, so that I can understand it, since I don't speak German.
Like most of us. So, show us then, can it actually show you the notes while this is playing, for example?
Yes, it can. You just click on the show box.
Now, it gives you a choice: play from CD, play from MIDI. Does that make any difference?
If I play from the MIDI, what I can do is get, through a synthesizer, each theme. So that is the counter subject, which is on the clarinet, horn and second violin. And I can play the bassoons and the low strings, which play the subject. You can see it's very different. Then I can play it all from the CD, which has the full orchestra. So I have a far better idea of the structure of it and how it is put together.
Well, I can see you're fascinated with this. Now, is this the only thing you do for pleasure on the computer, or do you have any other programs to show us?
Well, I bought a typing tutor for my youngest son, and then I discovered I enjoyed it myself. Well, this is just getting into the program. We'll go straight to start the lesson.
Well, you want to start the lesson?
Yes, and then it asks me who I am, and I say, yes, I am.
Now, how has it got your name already? Because you've already put your name in it
Because
before.
I've already put my name in it, and so it has things which are geared to me. So I'm faster than my 9-year-old, so my lessons are geared particularly to me.
Let's go to the workshop.
I see.
What I'm doing here is I'm actually beating the clock.
Let's have a look. The fastest time record for panning. I see the clock is now going.
And I've made some terrible mistakes.
Doesn't matter, keep writing, because we'll see whether the computer picks up the mistakes or not.
And I haven't got out of caps lock.
That's all right.
It's very unforgiving.
Oops, you just made a bunch of mistakes in a row. Maybe you're fuddled, or just pounding keys.
This is nice, so you pay good money to have a computer insult you.
Ah, it says I'm making random typing errors. Okay.
Let's go to the races.
what you're doing is you're racing against a theoretical other person. You can overtake his car.
I see. And when you're getting the odd letter wrong, a dead fly appears on the screen.
That's right.
In fact, 2 dead flies have now appeared on the screen, so you're obviously doing
Yes.
terribly well. 3 dead flies.
You're distracting me.
Are you becoming tired?
So one has to say, it's a pretty rude computer. Are you becoming tired?
Yes, it's like having a taskmaster, and it says that you're good when you're good.
Oh, well, that's good. Tricia, thank you very much indeed. And joining us now is Peter.
Hello.
And Peter is going to tell us, as our expert, the most popular games, the way people have fun on a computer. Go on, Peter. What sort of game is the most popular one?
Well, the most popular are probably either shoot-'em-ups, where you walk around shooting things, platform games, so you're on platforms and you collect things on the platforms, or adventure games.
Things like Myst and Seventh Guest.
Yeah, where you're walking around places, solving puzzles, figuring things out, finding clues of how to do things. Very, very brain-teasing.
Well, of course, before you want to play games on a computer, you want to know you've got the right one. What sort of things should you be looking for with games in mind?
Okay, stick to a relatively small screen, 12 or 14 inch. There are very, very few games that run at sort of big resolutions. On some computers you have to worry about things like sound cards and video cards and things.
A sound card or a video card are things that help the screen or help the quality of the sound that you're
maybe
hearing.
increase the number of colours and give you sort of CD quality sound while you're playing the game.
And probably the most important thing of all is the joystick.
It is. Again, they range in price from sort of £10 to a couple of £100 for a sort of military specification joystick.
Really, a couple of £100 just for a joystick?
Absolutely, and you can go right up to, there's a company called Thrustmaster that actually make a full cockpit that you sit your PC and monitor in, and that's it, you're in an F-16 now, and away
How
you go.
much does something like that
A
cost?
couple of £1,000.
Oh, I think that's cheap. We could afford a couple of those. Now, what about the most important thing, the speed of the computer? Because quite often you buy a game and you're told by the computer when you put it in and installed it and spent ages getting it together, sorry, you can't play this, you haven't got a fast enough computer.
If you're buying a computer just for games, then go for the fastest one you can get. Games are the area that really, really push the computers to their limits.
So, how much, if I had the money in my pocket, would I be spending to get a really top computer to play The Rise of the Robots?
The PC version requires something like a 486-66, and the soon-to-be released Macintosh version, again, requires something of like a Macintosh Quadra or a Power Macintosh. So you're looking at around £1,500, and that's a lot just for a machine to play games on.
Well, fair enough. Now, let's go on to have a look at games, and the one you've chosen so far is Rebel Assault. What's that about?
This is based on the 3 Star Wars movies, and in this you are a rookie pilot, first of all.
So the idea is to fly it. Here's the thing, and let's see if I can fly and talk at the same time. Probably not.
So the idea is not to hit the walls, otherwise you'll find...
Well, I deliberately hit the walls then so that you could see exactly what I was doing, and you can see. There we go. And if you believe that, you probably believe anything. That sort of game is harmless fun in that you don't really see any blood or gore or anything.
No, it's quite
killing
harmless.
robots.
I mean, you kill robots and stormtroopers and things, but there's no blood or anything like something like Doom.
A lot of people have criticised your industry because they've said they're also violent.
The software industry is trying to get itself together, and there's now rating systems for games like there are films. So if parents are worried about buying a particular game, you'll now find sort of like a PG or an 18 certificate on the game to tell you who it's actually meant for.
If you wanted to play the sort of game which involved more brain power and less quick ability, tell us a little about this one that I was asking about, The Seventh Guest.
Yeah, The Seventh Guest is a very popular game. It's available on a lot of different machines. It's based in a house where there's this man who's created these evil toys, and you get invited to his house and you have to solve all the puzzles in the house so that you rescue the children.
It's kind of Agatha Christie. Here it comes.
I guess our host wants us to fend for ourselves.
And so the game goes on. How many marks out of 10 would you give that particular game?
Probably 8.
8 out of 10.
So
one
a
of your
very good
favourites.
game.
How much does a game like that cost when it comes out and after it's been out for, say, 6 months?
When it comes out, again, they're anything from £30 to £50 for the games. After they've been out a while, maybe they'll drop down to £20, £25.
Thank you very much, Peter. Goodbye for now to you. And we've got some important matters to sort out on the computer. What do you
Absolutely.
think? Here are the main points you should keep in mind if you're considering buying a computer for home entertainment. Using games and discs requires large chunks of memory. Make sure you choose a PC with enough space or with the capability of adding more. Speed with games is everything. Ensure you have a fast processor in your computer of 66 megahertz. Get a good joystick. Try it out in the shop first and choose the one you're most comfortable with. Before you buy any software for your computer, make sure it can run on your system. Some games require extra sound and video cards to enhance the picture and the sound effects. Do remember that if you can manage to wait 6 months, CD games generally halve in price. This means you can buy 2 for the price of 1, so it pays to be patient. They say it's a dog's life, and what about a dog's story? We're going to show you a child's interactive game now. Adults obviously have to set the whole thing up and put it together, but it's a really good thing to play with. There are lots of different versions. We've got this one here, Ruff's Bone. That, in case you haven't guessed, is Ruff. And these little squares, see, English or Spanish, allow you to choose the language that it's in. What it is, it's a book. Imagine it's got 12, 15 or 20 pages. Read to me really is just what it says. It reads you the story all the way through and things move around, but you can't really interact with it. So, let's have a play game. Now, by clicking this, you hear a few sound effects in the background now. If you want it to be read, you click on the bone cursor.
It was time for my Sunday bone. My master always threw it, and I always brought it back.
Now that's the story so far, so the child knows that we're going on to a dog going to play with his master. Now can you see this cursor? Everything, and I really mean everything on this, moves when you click it. So let's have a look. First of all, at the car. Now there are surprises for me too, because I haven't actually played with this page. Let's try the bird.
T-minus 3, 2, 1.
I don't suppose he'll be watching Satellite this time. If you want to turn over the page, you simply click. Can you see over there there's a little arrow to the right, which means go that way.
Okay, Ruff, here's your bone. Ready? Whoa, I didn't know my own strength. Go get it, Ruff.
And what this is asking you to do, of course, is to find the bone. So, let's go in the hole in the tree. And the apple. Honestly, hours of fun for a child, and I dare say hours of fun for an adult too. Well, that's about it for this show, and indeed the whole series. We do hope you've enjoyed it, and now at least you can feel confident enough to keep up with the conversation of an average 9-year-old. So from me and all the team of the Computer Show, keep your memory low, keep your output high. Goodbye.